Hello everybody, and today I'll be showing you how to play Friday the 13th in the most simplified way possible. For anyone who doesn't know what the game is, it's a survival horror game developed by IllFonic, published by Gun Media. It's obviously based on the movie series. If you look at most of the reviews for the game right now, you'll notice that most, if not all of them, mention that the game has severe matchmaking issues, like sometimes taking over 20 minutes to find a game, and if you are lucky enough to get in that said game, you may just get kicked for the fun of it. But as of June 6, all systems have received an update, for the most part, that fixes all the matchmaking issues, glitches, and exploits. With all of that out of the way, let's get on to the guide. When you first spawn in as a counselor, your main goal is to open every single drawer you can see. In these drawers, you'll find walkie-talkies, car keys, first aid spray, maps, and more. Everything you're going to need to survive will be in these drawers. As a counselor, the whole point of the game is to either survive 20 minutes, escape by finding all the car parts and driving to safety, finding all the parts for the boat and pilot the boat to safety, or finding a fuse and calling the police and waiting for them to show up. You can kill Jason, but it's pretty complicated to do, so I'll make another video about that some other time. For now, I was sticking to these three ways. Surviving 20 minutes. This is probably the hardest to do because Jason has more than enough time to search the whole map top to bottom several times. I cannot count how many times I've been hiding in a tent and Jason just comes out of nowhere and just throws me against a tree, and I don't know how he found me. So for the most part, unless you're playing with a dumb Jason who is new to the game, you're probably not going to be able to survive the 20 minutes just by running around hiding. It's very hard to do. Escaping in a car or boat is actually pretty easy to do as long as you have a good team. You're going to need three things to escape by car. Gasoline. Gas can be found in any of the cabins near the car. The second thing you'll need is a battery. Again, this can be found anywhere around the map, most likely around the car and a cabin. The third thing, this is a little tricky because there's only two sets that actually spawn in the whole map if there's two cars, is a set of keys. If you find a set of keys, hold on to them because you're going to need them. Once you have all three of those things, do the little prompt that it gives you to install all this stuff, and you can leave. You can either escape by yourself now that you have all the car parts, or you can get up to 4 people depending on what car you repaired. It is typically frowned upon to leave by yourself if there's more than one counselor alive, so if you can, just try to pick a counselor up on the way. Once you're in the car, you're going to go to any point in the map that I point out here. It will change by the map, but for the most part it's the same thing. Go to the either end of the highway, and a cutscene will just start once you get in, and you win. That's it. Be careful though, because as you're driving your car, Jason can spawn in front of it and do this and completely rip your throat out. Luckily I got away, but I recommend driving slowly so you can get away. If you want to escape by boat, you only need two things, so it's a little easier to do. For the boat, you're going to need a propeller. The propeller, again, just like the battery and the gas, can be found randomly in a cabin. These are not going to be in drawers. They will be on tables, counters, everywhere. Just look everywhere around a cabin. You will find one. And then the same thing, you just need a little bit of gas. Find the gas anywhere like you did with the car. Then do the prompt, install all the stuff for the boat, get in, and go. But, again, just like the car, Jason can pull you out of this, so be careful. The last way to escape is by calling the police. Calling the police is probably the easiest to do, as all you need is a fuse, which can be found randomly across the map in a drawer. Once you find the fuse, you will need to find the call house. It's a house with a smoking fuse box near the rear of the building. You can't miss it. Install the fuse into the smoking box. Be careful not to mess this up during installation, because Jason will be able to hear a dial tone on his screen if you mess up, and he'll know someone is about to call the police, teleport to you, and rip your head off. Once you have the fuse installed, run into the house, try to find the phone. The phone can be randomly placed on any wall in the cabin or home or wherever you found it. So just look around quickly, find it, call the police.
Jason's here! He's killing us! He's killing everyone!
When you call the police, a timer will come on saying you have 5 minutes to survive. So just go hide, run around. Just do not get caught by Jason in these 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes is up, you'll hear a little siren. Then a little badge will appear on your map. Go to that badge. Do not run. he will see you running there, and he may spawn in front of you and kill you. Once you get to the badge, just walk right in, and you win. You escape Jason. So what happens if Jason catches up to you before you can do any of that? Well, you defend yourself. There's a plethora of ways to slow Jason down. The first thing you can do to slow him down is stun him. Throughout the map, you'll find melee weapons ranging from a piece of pipe to a machete. If you hit Jason from behind or at the right time in the front, you can stun him, giving you a chance to leave the area and hide. Shoot him. Yep, you can shoot him. There is currently 2 ways to shoot Jason. A shotgun, which can be found randomly across the map, or if you spawn as Tommy, I'll talk about that later, you will automatically have one. Another way is a flare gun. You will find flare guns randomly around the map on tables. These 2 weapons are extremely effective against Jason because you can shoot him from quite the distance away. Another way to distract Jason and get away from him is firecrackers. Throughout the map, you will find some firecrackers in drawers. Throw the firecrackers down while you're running, and if you hit him just right, he'll stop dead in his tracks, giving you a few precious seconds to run. Bear traps. Jason and counselors get to use traps, but counselors don't spawn with them. They usually have to be found in one of the rooms in a cabin. Once you find one, place it right in front of the door, so if Jason comes in, he'll be trapped, giving you plenty of time to escape through a window. So what happens if all of this fails and Jason is still on you? Well, if you were lucky enough to find a red pocket knife in a drawer, you still have a fighting chance. When Jason grabs you, you'll be prompted to break free. The game will automatically use the knife against Jason, giving you a few seconds to run away. Now Jason. If you're lucky enough to play as Jason, you have one task. Kill everyone. That's it. You get 4 abilities as Jason. The first ability is Morph. Morph is Jason's ability to instantly teleport to any location on the map. The ability has a cooldown that is different depending on what Jason you picked. Sense. Sense is Jason's ability to see noise-making counselors or buildings. This ability also has a cooldown, so you can't be using it over and over again, so use it wisely. Shift is Jason's ability to turn into a mist and quickly traverse through the map. Jason will be able to cover a lot of ground with Shift, faster than a car, which means it is a great ability for catching up to counselors as they run away. Again, this ability has a cooldown, so use it carefully. Stalk is Jason's ability to get close to counselors without alerting them. When using Stalk, the counselors get a tunnel vision type effect, so they don't even know if you're coming on the map, they don't have music cues to show you're there. This ability also has a cooldown, so like I said before, use it carefully. Depending on the Jason you picked, you will spawn with traps that can be used to slow down counselors. You can also pick up throwing knives around the map or spawn with them depending on the Jason you picked. You can use throwing knives to slow down counselors or just flat out kill them. Lastly, throughout the game you will slowly build up your rage meter in the top left corner. Your screen will turn red and you now have the ability to walk through doors, fences, walls like they're made out of paper. So now that you know what to do as a counselor and Jason, let's take a little bit of a look at all the counselors and Jasons. AJ, nicknamed the Rocker Chick, is very high stealth, high composure, and moderate repair. If you like stealth, AJ is the girl for you. Adam Palomino, nickname the Edgy Guy. High strength, high composure, average stats with a low stealth and luck. Brandon Bugsy Wilson, nickname the Jock. Very high strength, high speed, high endurance, lowest repair. Chad Kensington, the Preppy Guy. Very high luck, very high speed, average stealth, lowest composure. Deborah Kim, nickname the Bookish Girl. Very high repair, very high stealth, average stats, lowest strength. Eric J.R. LaChapa, the Nerd. Very high repair, high stealth, average stats. Jenny Myers, nickname the Cool Girl. Very high composure, high luck, lowest strength. Kenny Rydell. Rydell? I don't know. He's the head counselor. Jack of all trades with a 5 out of 10 in all stats. Tiffany Cox. Nickname the Flirty Girl. Very high stealth, very high stamina, low average stats. Vanessa Jones, the Athletic Girl. Very high speed, very high stamina, average luck. That's it for the counselor side of things. We're going to take a quick look at Tommy Jarvis. Tommy's stats are maxed out. Every single one is 10 out of 10, meaning he is basically Terminator. He can be called in once per game using an old ham radio that can be found randomly in a cabin throughout the map. Unlike the police phone, you do not need a fuse to call Tommy, just power to the cabin.
This is not a prank. We need your
Once
help.
a counselor calls him on the radio, a
Jason
player will
is
spawn in
killing
as
us.
Tommy if they have died. If no one has died yet, Tommy will not spawn. Who becomes Tommy is random if there is multiple dead counselors before he is called. He also plays a crucial role in killing Jason if a player chooses to attempt that. Now let's move on to the Jasons. There are currently 6 variations of Jason plus a pre-order version, but I'm not going to include that in the game because not a lot of people have that. Part 2 Jasons. His strengths are he can run, he has 6 traps when he starts, and his morph ability recharges quicker than other Jasons. His weaknesses, he has a longer cooldown for his shift, his health is pretty low, and he's very slow in the water. Jason Part 3. This Jason's strengths are being able to run, deal more damage with weapons, and a strong grip, so counselors can't break free as easily as other Jasons. His weaknesses, he can get stunned easily, his sense and his stock and sense abilities don't last as long. Part 6 Jason. Part 6 Jason's strengths are he starts with 4 throwing knives, his abilities last longer, and he has a fast cooldown of shift. His weaknesses are again a low HP, he can't run, and his morph ability takes longer to reset. Part 7 Jason has a very strong grip for grabbing counselors, a longer sense duration, and he can swim very fast. His weaknesses are not being able to run, a slow shift cooldown, and he can only carry 2 traps. Part 8 Jason. This Jason can tear down walls and doors a lot quicker than any other Jason. His stock ability lasts a lot longer, and he can also swim very fast. But he can't run, he has a long sense cooldown, and a weak grip, meaning counselors will be breaking free a lot quicker. This last Jason has a fast cooldown for his shift ability, his stock ability lasts a lot longer, and he can't be stunned by counselors as easy. His weaknesses? He can't run, he has low health, and he can only carry 2 traps. Now that you know how to play as a counselor, Jason, and Terminator Tommy, the only thing left to show you is the perk system. When you play games, you get more and more CP. When you get 500 CP, you can roll to get a random perk with random stats. Sometimes you may get a perk with 2% more damage than the other perk you had, and you can just sell that perk and keep that one. There's a lot of perks in the game, so I will leave the link in the comments so you guys can take a look at all of them one by one. Be very careful when rolling for perks because it can become addicting, so roll responsibly. And I think that's all you guys need to know. Now you can go into the game knowing a bit more than the average player. So have fun killing or escaping. Thanks for watching.